my company is Family Entertainment Group. We've been around for about 12 years now. The primary business that we do is we do a term that I didn't know really 2 years ago, outsourced entertainment. We put our facilities, usually whole facilities, in somebody else's properties. We're very proud of working with customers like Kalahari, Water Park Resorts, Great Wolf Resorts, Wilderness Resorts, many other street locations. We have our own properties. We have indoor-outdoor properties. We have restaurant facilities with entertainment that's there. And over the last few years, we've been trying to expand the breadth of what we do, to take different chances, frankly, to differentiate ourselves. Not in years past would we maybe have used that word. But what we're trying to do is take some measured steps within our industry to say, what are the right things to use and how do we use it? The other thing I wanted to note is, as many of you have been through this before and everything, if you're new here, this is the most collegial, warm environment that you're going to get. We have friendships that go back here 20, 30, 40 years of people that share. The number of stories that came out even last night at the bar of people who, they're competitors in a certain sense, but they just stayed last night at one of their competitors' houses for there. They went out to dinner, drink. I've never known, and the people I got involved with an equity company about 1.5 years ago, and they marvel to this day about the ability of all of us to share so openly, because I don't think it happens this way in other industries that are there. People from Andretti's so gracious to host us, and all of the machinations that are going on. So hands to all of you. If you haven't made a new friend here, there's something wrong with you, not them. You got to go out tonight. We're going to facilitate it. We're going to give you some liquor and make it easier on this kind of stuff. So where we're going to go is, every year we try and talk about games. Now the information that I'm presenting is from our information. Oddly enough, and there's reasons behind it, again, use the bar tonight, but we use both Embed and Sequoia game reporting systems, debit card systems in our facilities for different reasons, both to keep them butting heads so we can beat them up one or the other as time needs. It's created some problems. We have Intercard here, which I think is just a fabulous system, and they all have pluses and minuses to it. But this information is garnered from our facilities. We're in 18 states, and where it comes back to us. Finally, I'd like to say about our company is we're very proud of trying to be first to market with things where possible, but certainly to have the best equipped game rooms in the nation. And I respect everybody that's here, and Dave and Buster. Kevin gives a very nuanced, interesting, insightful view of it. They have their own way of viewing things. We have a slightly different view of things that are there, and that's probably represented in the games and the game list that we're going to show here. So first thing that I'd like to show you that is amazing this year, Clarence was mentioning, it's odd to be that it was the first slide that I had, is this year, first of all, the crane market for us is about 25% of what we do. And probably a growing area of things that are there, and they're becoming more sophisticated and more wonderful as they go along. So we've been using both the E-Lout coast to coast and smart cranes that are there, and they've just been tremendous winners for us. Cranes, a double crane that's less than $10,000. I don't know what you all pay. I don't know what your margins are, so that's another topic for another day. But we have facilities where 2 weeks we're getting a payback on these, okay? It's just the numbers have been staggering. We were talking, again, Clarence Mabe from S&M. We've known each other for an awfully long time. The return on these is exceptional. Does it mean it's applicable for all locations? No, because there's some negatives to instant win and some of the other stuff that's there. But without that caveat, just exceptional pieces of equipment. This year, we have gone ahead and we've got these beautiful games that are there. One of the things that I saw Kevin mentioning this morning was we were talking about the beauty of things, and I think that the fit and finish of the games are increasing. They're all competing against each other, and competition can be really good. We still have the main play of the Big Bass wheels and their sister games that are there, and we do them in multiples as well. So we love those games. In their quick drop game, wonderful piece. We have the Break the Bank by our friends at LAI, just exceptional pieces. And of course, Baytech, some of the stuff that Baytech does, and we love anything that comes out of Pulaski. Wisconsin, except maybe the Green Bay Packers as a Patriot fan. Sorry to say that in Atlanta. But at any rate, they're just exceptionally pretty games and great earning pieces to boot. Okay, and we're going to get down to this. One of the pieces that we're going back to things, and this is causing us some problems here and some good news. The good news is that, you know, if you're coming out and you got Space Invaders or the big Pac-Man, the world's largest Pac-Man and everything, they're earning exceptional money. They look beautiful. The negative we have across most of our game facilities is pieces are getting bigger, which means that we have less pieces per square foot. And that's causing us to say, what is the risk reward here, and do we have enough game stations? We just went through, I was talking about somebody else where you're going through game rooms right now and tushes are touching each other at a more frequent basis right now, and we've got to be concerned about that. What we're doing right now is we're taking some of the other ticket functions that are out there. The Rotary games have come around. There's two particularly good ones, one by our friends at Baytech and Elout that have this piece that's here. ICE has a similar game that we're very fond of because we helped design it. They are just good games. Tickets seem to be the #1 easiest to go to redemption prize that's out there. And so we like the tickets. We're not going to halt customer. We're going electric and getting rid of tickets sometimes causes a counterweight that's there. We want people to be reinforced with some of the paper goods and everything that's there. And the tickets have been exceptional prizes and exceptional earning pieces. This is one that we're a little early on in talking about this one. This came out, we saw it at the IAPA show. This is actually an interesting thing. This is two companies getting together on something, Andamiro and Namco. And we like the look of this one. We're in the early stages. There's a few issues with it still. I think that they're working them out. People from Betson, can you help me on that? Anybody from Betson here? How are we doing on? Okay, and we've had a few technical issues with them that are there, but they're just doing exceptional money for a nice themed game that you can market. It's really very attractive. Again, we talked about Pac-Man. You know, it's just the presentation is there, and using it as a signboard has been wonderful as well. One that continues from our friends at Team Play is Fishbowl Frenzy. It just continues to stun people when they see it. Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years, but still a great earning piece. Okay. Going to some of the favorites from my friend Ron, and of course, Rick is loving this. We got Stinky Feet there. We got the race games that they show, the water race games and everything, where you have the space. These have been good, sound investments for us, and I'm very skeptical of this stuff. Fortunately, Bob's Space Races is actually going, from my perspective, in the right direction. Their prices have been going down rather than up like some other manufacturers, but at any rate, fabulous pieces, solid investments. ICE has been, you know, just exceptional. Just exceptional. The range of products that they have to fill up a whole game room with their stuff, the theme that they have for all the carnival themes. We have gone out recently, and I think we're just about finished. We've changed over almost all of our alley games from, typically we had ice balls, the older forms. We had upgraded those with LED lighting, but the FX are just out-earning it substantially, probably to the effect of about a 50% increase in sales on an alley roller, so we like those. The Wheel to Win, you know, still Treasure Quest, and certainly all the carnival lineup of Down the Clown and Milk Jug Toss, terrific pieces. Okay, this is one that I was skeptical of when we first got it out, but it's working really well. This is the Wick air hockey game. Very durable, brightly colored, a slightly different but very affordable take on an air hockey game. Exceptional pieces, and if you don't think they are, I will buy any that you have. Wizard of Oz and Ticket Circus. And they have another series that they're working on trying to tweak just a little bit. These have changed customer perception. I know Kevin was talking about it, I couldn't say it better, where you have people that are going up to play this for a half hour, an hour, hour and a half, and they are dedicated to this game and how it earns. It's exceptionally expensive games, by and large, incredibly durable games, great ROI over a somewhat longer period of time, and they're just beautiful. We have in every facility that we have, almost every facility, we have at least a giant or a big one crane that's there. One of the things that we've been working on to try and differentiate ourselves is we pour an awful lot of time into marketing these very large cranes, 8 by 8 foot cranes, where we upgrade them, we make them look different than they may come from the manufacturer that's there. And we also, in these ones, make these are our easiest to win cranes, okay? It's very neat to get a very affordable prize, put it in there. You may charge $2 or $3 for it, but every 2, 3, 4 persons that are coming up are going to win a prize. And there's nothing better than somebody walking around with a product in their hand to sell your place, whether it's a bouncing ball, a knobby ball, a big piece of plush that's there. These things make money. Again, back to more cranes that are here. The coast-to-coast fun zones are slightly more affordable. The E-Claws are just, to my mind, the best cranes that are on the market. They are long-term investments that are there. They're going to return money to you year after year. When I say year after year, we have still, I think we have 1 or 2 big choices left, which came from ELOUT years ago, from 1985. So to talk about ROI, I've seen this in other people's places. It's how well you maintain these things and keep them going. But these make it easy. And so the difference between, and I'm probably at a different place than maybe I would have been a few years ago, the difference on a crane for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, when you're talking 10 or 15 years, is negligible. It's not what you pay for the thing, it's what you get out. And if you're going to get a return on that every single year, and it costs you $500 a year for that piece, I'll pay that all day long. It's a great return. Okay, we have to have it. We have an awful lot of these out there. The Typhoon have been a consistent, very reliable. We still have their predecessor, the Mad Wave motion theaters that are there. These are just a staple for us. Everybody, how many, by show of hands, Typhoons? God bless that game. We like people who do things differently. And years ago, and I've said this before, Bill Faith, who manufactures this game, with 5-star Planet Earth, you know, I had a real problem because there was a time when Bill, his reliability of his units weren't so great. But he is an artist. The build on this thing is exceptional. I don't think he makes money building these games, but they stand out, they're durable, they last for a long time. And something else that somebody said before, please encourage and support creativity or it goes away. There's not another game out there that looks like that. Pieces that we have here, we have Adrenaline going with their products. Adrenaline has used an awful lot of the app games to manufacture some of their pieces. Affordable, easy to understand, people love them in a wide variety of things. And of course, you know, we have the Despicable Me characters and everything. It's great. The other air hockeys that we've been going to, we really like the Gold Flare Elite. Gold Standard, these guys, they live and breathe air hockey. These are strong, durable tables. Doesn't mean that there aren't other good air hockey tables out there, but these guys, that's their lifeblood, and they build it into it. Go ahead with, again, some of these things, Benchmark, and our dear friend Al Kress, one of the mavens of the industry that's there. We continue to have in the top 5 Monster Drop Extreme on the right side there. Love that game. And now he's gone for the giant crane that's there, the dragon crane that's there, and then Chaos, great earning pieces. We have just taken, well, we took a while ago, delivery. We just got operating the Unis crane that's here. We're trying this because we want something different. This is, you know, a 4-player game on a track, interactive video games. What we liked about it is we were seeing young kids and their parents and teenagers being able to play this game. And we wanted that differentiation. The negative we have, it takes a good amount of space on a tender thing, and you really need an attendant for this one. So, but really, we hope that this is one of the generational turns in the game industry, that these types of things continue to come forward. We have an awful lot of skill-based games, and an important note here, these, from Andamiro, these are skill-based. There is a play here. Pete, I'm going to call you out, and maybe at the bar tonight, Pete will expand on this one, but one of the industry, the AAMA, the Manufacturers Association, is pushing something called the Fairplay Pledge to make sure that everybody, all of our customers know that what's being produced now, maybe not so much in the past, are all skill-based games. that they are legal, that everybody has a chance to win, and going from there. And that movement is going to continue. It's going to be a real press for the industry over the next couple of years. But we're going to make an announcement at the next expo that's coming up in Dallas about the Fairplay Pledge, and we're asking all manufacturers and operators to join us in that one because we want a nice, safe, secure business to bank on for years to come. We don't want people saying, as is often, that's rigged or it's a ripoff. No, you can win on these pieces. We are not Walmart. We're not looking to give you a prize at the lowest possible cost, but you're going to have fun and you can win. We're not the carnival, if you will. Although we do some things that are out and different, Baseball Pro by Andamiro has been a terrific piece. They've continued to re-engineer it, shrunk it down just a little bit, that's there. Great earning redemption piece. Video. This is, again, it's a golden age of video because it's tough enough to sell any video games that's there. These are exceptional. Jurassic Park, wow, knock it out of the park every single time. Their new cruising game, the cabinet alone, you gotta go take a look at it. You gotta go take a look at it if it looks like that. And we like video, we like bringing more of it back in to extend the length of play that's there. So without further ado, and then I'm glad to take, everybody's going to have an opinion on this one. I don't know if you can see all of this kind of stuff. In fact, I can't. So it's a small script, but this is available to those people that are attending here. We'll get this out to you if you would like. So what we put together here is based upon our earnings. We call it the 100-game premium list. So if you had a game room of 6,000 square feet, give or take, you might have 100 games in it. And this is divided up for exactly the items that we would put in there. Mostly everything that you've seen there, some multiples of things if we were going into it that's there. You see we have pretty much every manufacturer that's in this room. We are going for a mix of games. We're trying to get a few more video and interactive games into our mix where possible. We put in a kiddie ride, 2 or 3 in a given thing, not because they're the highest earning game, but what are you going to do with a child in your arm if the other kids are playing and you got nothing else to do? So get a good kiddie ride. Carousels, where you can get them, exceptional pieces that are there. The cruising that Family Fun has been representing, just an exceptional earning game that's there. We have an awful lot of the ice games grouped in the Carnival Association that's there. Everybody know what I mean about the Carnival Central that's there, where you do multiples of milk jug toss, down the clown, the alley rollers, all those things grouped together. Basketballs are consistent. We always try and find the best of breed, and then we migrate to that. So for our centers, once we find something that works really well for us, we try and migrate there for the efficiencies of operating one class of games, one type. Does that make sense to everybody? So if we find a basketball game for us by a manufacturer or type, we'll start to migrate, sell off the other basketballs that we may have and migrate to that because we find that 2, 4, maybe 6 basketballs work in a given facility, but you don't need to have 2 different types of basketballs. The exception to that, and Holly, you can probably help me with this one, is they're now marketing, what's the name of the huge basketball? Where's Holly? Hot Shot. We try and have standard-sized basketballs or the smaller size, and where possible, where the space allows, we're putting in Hot Shot or the predecessor, very large, full-size basketball. When I say full-size basketball, we're talking 11 to 15 feet high by the other side. They're 8 feet in height, 8 feet in width, full size, but it gives a real basketball dimension to it. But they take up a lot of space, and they're not as cheap as a regular basketball game, but it works. We are also going for a balance between the type of cranes that we use so that they all market something different. And we're going to talk tomorrow afternoon about the merchandising of this kind of stuff. But where possible, we're trying to make everything stand out because this is the other big theme. Again, we're going to come back to this one. We believe that we're retailers more than anything else. We are not just in the amusement business, we're in the retail business. We're selling products. We're selling time in some cases, experience in some cases, but we're retailers. And the best retailers stand out. He used the example of Benetton. Really, in 15, 20 years ago, they stood out like nobody else's business that's there. Those types of retail experiences get people's attention, and that's what we want to focus on. Again, ask me about individual titles later here. I've got for the next slide here, and again, we have this available, is what a 50-game premium list would be. So if you have, 3,000 square feet, give or take, rule of thumb that we use is approximately, although it's gotten changed a little bit, approximately 1 game for every 50 square feet. Dave, do you have a rule of thumb on that?
We've got up pretty much to 60.
Okay. It's gone up because of the size of the game, okay? This next one is what we call our 100-game, and we have a 50-game economy list. If we're going into a place where the economics are there, 100 games now is probably $600,000, $700,000 to get a really good there. Our economy list would be how do you knock that number down and come up with maybe some used pieces, some slightly lower price pieces that are there to hit that mark. And why are we focused on this? We're focused on ROI and the customers that are there. One of the big pushbacks we find, maybe some of you do too, is we have clients who want to use amusement equipment like electric furniture, okay? That's not a good ROI. I have this space. That's usually a bad sign. When somebody does this, that's, as I'm fond of saying, that's a $100,000 swing when somebody says, I have this wall, I'd like you to put games on. That's not a good use of games. We want a great mix of equipment that's there. We want a great experience, but we want the operator or ourselves to be able to afford what's going on. Make sense there? Finally, I'm just going to quickly show this and then take a couple of questions if we can. This is a 50-game economy list, meaning, again, half the space that's there, and you can do a comparison between where we might cut if we were making a decision. Now, we haven't shown everything that we do, and increasingly, this is an ongoing process. It's evolutionary every single day for us. We're buying, we're moving things in and out. We work in an awful lot of transient locations, so we have to get the best of the best. So one of my concerns right now in differentiating is the best of the best, and this information is available whether it's Betson or from Replay or Playmeter magazine or from Player One or from a number of other sources. You can find everybody's information. More or less, I think the cream is going to rise to the top, and you're going to be able to see that, and that's what we always want to focus on. But the mix is going to be a little bit different, and you should have a little bit different take on what you do. If every game room looks exactly the same, maybe it's good for a short while, but I don't think it's going to last for us long term. So I'm glad to see that there is some differentiation between a Dave & Buster's and a Main Event and an FEG location and some other things that are there. I think we all have to work a little bit more on that, so do manufacturers, because if we all operate just the same games, over the last few years, it's been a great thing. People have come back to the market. It is a golden age of amusement equipment. I've never seen a longer run of good economic data than we have right now. That being said, that's when I really get scared. When things are always good, that's when you should be prepared, and we want to make ourselves different than there. So finally, to end on my point here, we still are roughly the same mix percentage that maybe we were last year, maybe slightly skewed more towards some of the instant win stuff for us, which is roughly 25%. And we're probably 55, 60% for redemption equipment. That's stuff that dispenses a ticket or an electronic credit. But we are trying to increase some of the other things, the kiddie rides, some of the video games and the expenses. I know that Dave & Buster's has a huge amount of video and the experience that's there. And I admire what they're doing for that, because we want to have a nice balance of length of play. We don't want you to come in and 5 minutes after you gave your child $20, they're back at you asking for more, because that's not going to be great customer service. This is our look at it, and I'm glad to share anytime.